Oolitic wasn't always called Oolitic. When the town was first platted in 1888, it went by the name Limestone, Indiana. Fitting, considering the industry that built it. But in 1896, when the town applied for a post office, the name was rejected. There was already another Limestone, Indiana. So Dr. R.B. Short proposed a new name, one that still honored the town's identity. He suggested Oolitic, after the small mineral grains found in the limestone. The name stuck, and the town was officially incorporated. And as the town was finding its name, God was already at work, laying the foundations for a church in Oolitic. Shortly after Oolitic was formed, a preacher named Reverend H. East from Louisville, Kentucky, came to town and held revival services. The Lord used those services to stir hearts, awakening in several the conviction that a local church was needed. That burden gave birth to action. On June 18, 1900, Reverend C.W. Chadwick of Bedford Baptist Church called a business meeting to determine if a team could be formed to plant a church in Oolitic. 17 believers answered the call, and by June 24th, just 6 days later, Oolitic Baptist Church was fully organized. They had a moderator, a clerk, a treasurer, and not too long after, their first pastor, Brother George W. Terry. Their first order of business? Finding a place to meet. It took a few years, but eventually the church purchased a lot for $60 and built its first building, completed in 1906. The total cost? $1,550.73, an investment of both money and of faith. But the work didn't stop there. By 1925, the congregation remodeled the building, funding the project with an $8,000 loan. Then came the Great Depression, and with it, financial hardship. The church couldn't make the payments on the loan, and the loan company came calling. So God's people had to get a bit creative. Across the street from the church was Cuddy's Grocery, and Mr. Cuddy set out a jar where, for 10 cents, customers could write their names on slips of paper and drop them in. Edna Lewis, a church member and neighbor, took those names and transferred them onto material, and church members backstitched them in lavender and green, and Miss Frank King quilted them. The finished quilts were then sold to help raise funds to pay off the debt, and it worked. God provided through the hands of His people, and that wouldn't be the last time. In the years that followed, the church grew. In 1954, the sanctuary received new furniture, new doors, and flooring. By 1955, classroom space was needed, so the basement of the sanctuary was remodeled to accommodate Sunday school classes and a nursery. In 1963, 4 houses across the street were purchased and torn down, turned into a parking lot, making room for even more growth. And in 1970, the church took on its biggest building project yet, an education building with classrooms, a fellowship hall, a kitchen. The total cost would be just over $55,000. And it paid off. The church continued to grow, expanding its ministries, hiring a youth pastor and a pianist. They even put together a basketball team. Not every year was easy, though. Not every season was marked by growth or joy, but through them all, God remained faithful. He sustained Oolitic Baptist Church through economic downturns and cultural changes and generational shifts. He preserved the congregation not because of its strength or size, but because of His mercy and His purposes. And now as we look to the future, we do so with confidence, not in ourselves, but in the sovereign hand of God who has brought us this far. We believe that He is not done yet. The same God who stirred 17 people to start a church in 1900 is still stirring hearts today 125 years later. He is still building His church. And He is still calling us to proclaim the gospel, to make disciples, and to serve our community with truth and love. We honor our past not to live in it, but to be shaped by its example. And we move forward not with fear, but with faith, knowing that the gracious God who brought us here will continue to be with us in the years to come. Though we are not worthy, God will continue to use this building and this congregation as a light to the world. We don't know how He will do that, and we know that seasons of difficulty will surely come along the way. But God will remain faithful. He will be with us just as He was with those before us. To God be the glory. Great things He has done, and we are praying for even greater things that He will do.